Snake Plissken's. So I watched one of his videos. It was on this whole space kind of thing, you know, outer space people, outer space intelligence, all that kind of drivel. And so he did his usual spiel. You know, he says a whole bunch of stuff, and it's all pretty much crap. But he makes it sound like he's saying something that sort of makes sense because he references something in the real world and kind of makes a comparison, but it's still bogus. Yeah, he's an idiot. So anyway, I just thought I'd make the counter argument to some of the idiocy. You know, regarding what you could expect from the universe, or what we should be expecting. And so he did have of course, they all fall for it. You know, the trap that, well, look, it's just carbon. You know, and carbon's everywhere, so life is everywhere. Crap, you know. And they ignore the fact that, yeah, there's parts everywhere on this planet, all over the place. Nothing. No second times. No second time for abiogenesis, no second time for nuclear cells, no second time for you know, community organisms. You know, you can go just down the list of the things that were necessary. No second neuron. There's only one functioning brain, and that's made out of neurons. I mean, so yeah, no parallels, no evidence of this evolution thing. You know, doing it over and over again because it's so easy. And like I said, the parts are everywhere here. I mean, they're already got DNA molecules built into them, and the DNA molecule still doesn't do it. You know, and people just ignore the subtleties of what evolution is. You know, the key component, the stuff you just can't leave out of the conversation. The blueprint idea. The fact that we're not really evolving. The DNA, the chain molecule, is evolving. So we're just silly demo models that go out. We're the cards that the DNA molecule is playing with. But it's the molecule that's evolving, and you know, that's a key component to being able to do more elaborate evolution. But it's also a very complex idea that the machine would fall on the idea of making a blueprint and then change the blueprint to change the machine. But it's a huge difference in terms of what you could expect from something's evolution. It really has to do it that way to, you know, or else it's going to take trillions of years, not just billions of years, to get anywhere, so to speak, in terms of making the new model. So anyway, so this whole conversation about what we should expect, you know, that there should be some rational expectation that, oh, life is abundant and blah blah blah, and there's no expectation rationally. You certainly can't draw any conclusions from one sample, and you know, in the void of having no evidence of any other happening, it becomes quite realistic to start thinking about you know, perfect storm or preposterous storm, or you know, just a crazy combination of events being what we are. Stuff that just doesn't happen. You know, the Yahtzee dice landing on top of each other. Just, you know, you can roll them, and it's just not easy to do that. You know, and that becomes the more realistic view of our existence. And then when you analyze what existence is, you know, at least he hints, you know, at his acceptance of a certain realization that maybe life at its core is crap, but he just plays along like he's a dumb drunk, like he can't figure out that that might mean something. You know, that there's a bunch of sensitive, sentient organisms caught in a machine that doesn't have any brain, and you know, any function, any hope of doing anything but torturing the victims. I mean, you think you'd account for that, but that's part of the intelligence conversation. You know, what would an intelligence do? An intelligence that could navigate space. You know, is there our expectation that they would show up, you know, looking to rape us and, leave us for dead. I mean, it seems that this is sort of something we could logically deduce, that the probability of space travelers being morons isn't really that high. Being poorly motivated and being unaware of, all of these nuances of psychology and motivation and, Christians in the light speed warp drive spaceship. I don't think so. Doesn't seem very realistic. I just think that would be practically feasible, because we're already there now in terms of getting this technology thing. We've only had technology for 100 years, and it's already given us a pretty ugly picture of the whole, our game, the psychology, the human genome is full of, bacteria genes, full of crap and shit and junk. So anyway, I want to get to I think I'm going to title this Cats and Rats, because that's sort of, you have to evolution always does this. It has a pattern. So he was talking like, okay, there's some other kind of life form that we wouldn't even understand how it functions, or it would be so intelligent that we couldn't figure out what it was saying, and it's just stupid. We already know what intelligence is made out of, and it's not so much how much you have, but how right you have. Being able to multiply, 20 numeral numbers in your head isn't going to, wow, big deal. How's that going to work in the real life? How's that going to make you more productive? And it's not. So we already have, you don't need much intelligence to figure out how not to fuck your neighbor. Screw the other guy over for a cheap thrill. You don't need much intelligence to figure out that that's not too bright. So if that's the definition of high intelligence is, oh yeah, they're bleeding heart liberal crazy fucks who actually take responsibility for their existence and try to figure out whether they're running a profit or not. Whether they've tormented more shit than they've rescued from the quicksand. Gee, that's just so fucking intelligent. You have to be so fucking and smart to figure that out. But apparently you do have to be smarter than a snake Plissken is. So anyway, razzle dizzle or dizzle fizzle or whatever. So what else do I want to do? Yeah, so I want to get to the title, which is, this Cats and Rats, because that's what we see in evolution. It's the same pattern, just gets redone. The cat looks a little different, Tyrannosaurus, and the rat Brontosaurus looks a little different, but it's the same game is being played, and it happened throughout evolution. It happened in Australia. The marsupials played the same basic game out, basically. The Aboriginals killed off all the cats, but it was cats and rats. And it's cats and rats here, and it's cats and rats everywhere. And that's where it would be in the rest of the universe. It'd be cats and rats. And the alien intelligence would have been either a cat or a rat. And it would have sat here and said it's cats. It would have made videos talking about cats and rats. And how life is, what a mess this is. Very dangerous slop to be playing with. Anyway. So I'll go for a run and be back. Such. Until next time. Oh, back again. Anyway, I was thinking some other metaphors, dicks and chicks and what is the universe. But it's a subject close to Rizzle Dizzle's cold black heart. His whole little problem with women. And so he was making some sort of point about the hive mind, and how hive animals or something, or creatures weren't going to evolve intelligence and all this shit, something like that. And but we're not any different. The bees to honey kind of thing. In some ways we're just naturally made to be whipped. The whole male thing. You know, the whole spore, seed, well not seed, what do you call it, pollen, what's another word for that, spore, without getting vulgar, well, you know, sperm, you know, it's just the male is just such a used up, you know, kind of a useless organism in the sense, you know, he has no necessity to the as a practical matter. You know, the woman could do it herself. You know, he plays a minor role. But that's the whole point, is that he's playing a role, just like an ant or some other hive organism, droning, you know, for the candy, for the praise of the queen. It's you know, we're just doing it for the same mechanism, just a different kind of sweetener, different kind of incentive package, you know, to do our work. We're still slaves to it. And yeah, all of that's going to be known by people with starships. Yeah. So I think if the aliens are coming, they're gonna have the same headaches and the same backaches and the same miseries and the same complaints that we have about how, you know, really not good enough this gameplay is. And I mean, realistically, you know, he did mention it, but so I mean, he says about 7 zillion things, so it's hard to find something disagreeable, because he says, oh, this and that and this and that. And he sort of made the point too, though, that nobody would leave home because, yeah, what if your video game console breaks in space? What are you going to do? You know, there's nothing you can do out there that you can't do here better. So, yeah, why would you leave home? No advantages whatsoever. Yeah, I just can't. It's done. I suppose it's some sort of maybe you have a fetish for closed spaces, so that could be fun. You know, yeah, but you know, beyond that, yeah, hard to imagine the incentive would be in a world where you already have a big pile of technology to play with and just entertain yourself. And that's what it's going to come down to, is just entertaining the motivating mechanism. And once you gain intelligence, you become smarter than the motivating mechanism. We've outsmarted, you know, the DNA in the sense that we invented the condom. We outsmarted, you know, natural selection. And that's just the truth. You become too smart to play a dumb game. If you're not a Dizzle Fizzle or some other asshole. Yeah, one of the other assholes. There seems to be so many of them. Who, you know, just keep talking, you know, just glibly, you know, talking as if this isn't really kind of important stuff. This whole resolving our place in the universe, seeing it for what it is, and constructively dealing with it. You know, and all the best these guys can do is, you know, women be bitches and liberals be dangerous. Yeah, that's the best they can do. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, that's probably enough. I don't need to. We've sort of done this space issue enough times. But there ain't going to be no aliens. The evidence is that this game is fucktarded. So even if something else did evolve, it's going to be smart like me, and it's not going to be dumb like you. And it's going to know this is a dumb game. Too dumb for intelligence to play. Yeah, even if it gets to, like I said, even if that's saying, that you're going to be able to synthesize a parallel evolution of consciousness, which I don't think you have much chance. So anyway, yeah, I think I'm done. Yeah, forgot to get my mail. Ooh, I took the wrong turn. Yeah. So, is there any other space shit he said relevant? Yeah, it's just important to understand the blueprint thing for evolution. You know, evolution without the blueprint idea just doesn't work. It just can't happen quickly enough. It just can't happen. Yeah. Anyway, till next time. And such, and so forth. And but. Well, not altogether nasty. Yeah. Yeah, plant. I got a stupid hollyhocks. I keep getting them to grow like that big, and then it won't survive this winter. It'll be irritating. I had them flower one year, so I know I can do it. Anyway, well, yeah, that'll be all. Until next time.